Good morning. My name is Hayden, and today I'm going to be talking about and persuading you why Rory McIlroy is the greatest golfer on tour right now. Now, if you ask anybody who the best golfer is of all time, you're going to hear Tiger Woods 99 out of 100 times. And that's because that's true. He is the best golfer of all time. He changed the game. He made people get a lot better so they could beat him, and that's why golf is as competitive and intense as it is today. Tiger Woods is old now, and he's not so great anymore. He's still an incredible golfer and better than I'll ever be, but he's not the best, which is why I'm talking about Rory McIlroy, because I believe that he is the best. Now, before we talk about his stats and tournament stuff, I just want to say I've golfed for 5 years now, and I love it. I love watching it. I used to hate it. I thought it was super boring, as I'm sure a lot of you do. But then I started playing, and it was still boring to watch. But what changed for me and why I love watching it now is because I get to see the world's elite hit incredible shots. And I know how difficult those shots are to hit because I have to try and hit them. And they just do it casually. So saying that Rory McIlroy is the best golfer on tour does not discredit any of the other players. It does not say that they're bad or that they don't deserve to be on tour. It just says that out of all the world's elite, the 0.1% of golfers that make it on tour, Rory is better than all of them. So now let's get into a brief overview of the presentation. So today we're going to be talking about a brief background of Rory McIlroy's life, and I mean very brief, his stats, and his tournament success. I know that's not a lot of things, but that's plenty of stuff to persuade you about why he's the best golfer on tour. So Rory was born on May 4th, 1989, and he actually won his first PGA tournament when he was 19, which is a young age for anyone. That's when Tiger Woods won his first tournament. It was in Dubai. It was the Dubai Invitational. He cleared the field by 6 shots, and that jetted his world ranking for the first time to 16, and he got his tour card from there, and that's when his golf career started. And this is the Irish flag. He's from Northern Ireland. That is also why I used green on the presentation, because I thought it would be funny. So now let's talk about his stats. Before we get into this screenshot is from the PGA Stat website, and that's where I got my information from. According to David Barrett, a writer for Golf Digest, though, all of the following listed here are determined by strokes gained. There's driving, approach shots, short game inside 100 yards, which is your wedge game, your putting outside 100 yards, short game and putting, tee to green, which is sort of your overall performance from every shot, and then around the green, which is like your sand save, your bunker shots, and your total shots gained. Now, looking at the numbers here, they don't really make any sense, so I'll break it down. What all the numbers mean, if it's positive, it's a good thing. If it's negative, it's a bad thing. So a positive number means if you take all the average tour players, or not the average tour players, the average of the tour players from a given situation, let's say a tee shot or a 112-yard wedge shot, you look at the score from there or the success from there, and the number that you see here is how many shots better on average a person did from a given spot. And all these are positive, so that means Rory is doing better than average in all these categories. But what really stands out about Rory is 4 of these categories are inside the top 10, and 2 of them are actually second place. Now, I know none of them are first place, and that might not seem cool to you guys, but being inside the top 10 in 4 of these categories is something only 3 other tour players are doing right now, and none of them have second places. So that sets him apart. And another thing here is, you don't see it, but his driving distance, he's ranked first in that right now, which is insane. He hits the ball a mile. Moving on to his tournament scoring, another thing that is an indicator of prestige in golf is your tournament success. Now, success by a lot of people may be defined as winning. And yeah, winning is fantastic, but in golf, it's harder than almost any other sport because you go out and you're competing against 190 other guys, all that are elite and insane. But yeah, let's look at his wins. This year, there has been 6 tournaments. Actually, there's been 7. Rory only played in 6 because he got injured. but he won one of them, so he won 16% of his tournaments. He placed third in 2 of them, so he's inside the top 3 in half of his tournaments this year. And the other 3 tournaments, he placed in the top 5. So in all of his tournaments this year, he was inside the top 5. He was the only tour player to be able to claim that this year. So success is not just determined by winning, it's determined by going out week after week and performing. Because a top 10 finish in any tournament is a good finish. Now, last season, his 2019 season, he played in all 19 starts, which is good. He won 3 of them, so that rough averages out to about 16% of the tournaments he won. He runner-upped in 1 of them, and he was inside the top 10 in 14 of them. He was one of only 3 players to be able to claim that. But what you don't know is he actually won the FedEx Cup tournament. Now, according to the FedEx Cup newsroom, the FedEx Cup is a season-long points tournament. Now, what that means is every shot a player hits, every putt they make, every score they card, it all has a point value. And throughout the season, players are, yes, competing to win, but overall they're competing for points because they want to win the FedEx Cup. Now, some tournaments are worth more than others in points, which is why there's a FedEx Cup playoffs, but Rory has been able to win the FedEx Cup twice. He won it in 2019 and he won it in 2016. There's only 2 other players that have done that are alive, and that is Tiger Woods and Justin Rose. Justin Rose won a couple years ago, but then he sort of fell off the radar. So yeah, these are pictures of Rory's wins. This is him in 2019, and this is him in 2016. And if you aren't convinced of Rory's, best golfer on tour right now status, let's talk about the world rankings. In the golf world ranking system, number 1 changes a lot because any tournament could drastically change someone's ranking. But Rory has held the world number 1 spot for a cumulative total of 100 weeks. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but that's 2 years total at being world number 1. And he hasn't been golfing for as long as a lot of the other guys on tour. And he's also only the 3rd player in history, other than Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus, to hold that title. So I hope this all convinces you that Rory is the greatest. And I also hope that you will see the competitiveness and intensity in golf, because I know a lot of people don't. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you all have a wonderful day.